Here today, clearly everybody realizes that the FBI has put out their announcement, showing that they don't anticipate recording any charges. In the wake of examining, we're disheartened, however. We're not dissuaded. Not it's fundamentally surprising in the sense dark and brown individuals generally need to cut their own way to equity. Since it ought not be that in this country, that people of color dark and earthy-colored survivors of wrongdoing need to do this each time they are casualties of violations. Yet it is sadly what it is. I don't think there is a ton of regulatory tape. I believe it's straightforward that in the U.S., that when there are dark and earthy-colored casualties of wrongdoings, there is an entirely separate arrangement of things that must be finished. On Wednesday, Shanquella is legal counselor Sue Ann Robinson rushed to get down on government experts for not offering Shanquella as case the consideration it merited, all in light of the way that Shanquella was a person of color. For those still in obscurity, Shanquella Robinson was a 25-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, who was established responsive at an estate in Lake San Lucas in Mexico, where under 24 hours sooner she and a gathering of companions had quite recently arrived for what should be an extravagance excursion. A while after Shanquella's death and the beginning of her examination, bureaucratic and specialists decide on Wednesday that they need more proof to indict anybody for her end. This comes as a failure to the million of watchers who were all sitting tight for dear Shanquella to get equity. The administrative specialists met with Robinson's family to share their discoveries and let them know there would be no indictment right now. And this came a breaking news to her family, Shanquella's family, and the remainder of the world had expected to get more certain news regarding a capture or something like that. Yet tragically, the case is being hidden where no one will think to look. Talking for Robinson's family at Little Stone Point Zion Church in Charlotte on Wednesday evening, lawyer Sue Ann Robinson said they were frustrated yet not prevented by the result of the U.S. examination and would keep on looking for equity following the killing. Truly unforeseen, as in dark and brown individuals generally need to cut their own weight of equity. While talking at the question and answer session, lawyer Sue Robinson referenced the way that at the rear of their brains they definitely realize that something to that effect would probably happen, considering the way that she was dark. She then, at that point, contrasted Shanquella's mom with Ahmaud Arbery's mom, Wanda Cooper Jones, who battled for equity for her child after he was killed and needed to exceed all expectations to try and ask for her child's equity, was caught on record. And presently, we're being informed that there won't be a capture. Shanquella's legal counselor likewise addressed the way that there was apparent proof for Shanquella's situation, since there was a video that has been drifting around for over a half year of Shanquella being attacked by one of the Kibo Six. It's a horrible idea that the government guarantees no treachery on Shanquella's life, when both the video and her postmortem demonstrate in any case that 46 seconds, we were being informed that he was having a coronary failure. She likewise said Shanquella's case helped her to remember George Floyd and how the unobtrusive comparability between the two cases demonstrated that when it came to brown and individuals of color, equity was being kept down for Floyd's case. Even after people in general had seen the video of him being attacked, specialists actually figured out how to pin the follow-up on a coronary failure and medications. And it resembles the equivalent will happen to Shanquella. Authorities from the U.S. lawyers' workplaces in 2 regions in North Carolina declared the choice in a statement given practically no time before Shanquella's relatives were planned to talk about Robinson's killing at a broadcast news gathering. The statement gave by the U.S. Lawyer's Office for the Western region of North Carolina assault the examination concerning the conditions encompassing the demise of Ms. Robinson has been really important for bureaucratic investigators and the FBI. It kept guaranteeing that very much like each and every case viable for administrative indictment, the public authority needed to endorse for certain that a felony was committed. However, tragically for Shanquella's case, no off-base had been done in light of the consequences of the postmortem. And after cautious pondering and survey of the analytical materials by both U.S. lawyers' workplaces, government investigators informed Ans Robinson's family that the accessible proof didn't uphold a bureaucratic indictment, it is essential to promise the public that accomplished administrative specialists and prepared examiners widely looked into the accessible proof and have presumed that bureaucratic charges can't be sought after the news led out of the U.S. lawyer's office. They even referred to an itemized and exhaustive examination and a dissection directed by the clinical inspector's office in North Carolina's Mecklenburg province, saying they found that the accessible proof doesn't uphold a government arraignment. This statement is peculiar considering the way that there is a postmortem showing that Shanquella had a messed up neck, and there is likewise a whole video supporting her wounds that could be utilized as proof. Lawyer Sue shared that the choice by U.S. specialists not to squeeze charges mostly depended on after effects of the homegrown dissection following an underlying postmortem examination directed in Mexico. The U.S. posthumous test was led after Robinson's body had been treated and moved back to America, which intends that there was a postpone that managed Robinson's reason for death dubious in light of the fact that there isn't anything that should be possible. Shanquella's legal counselor complimented her family for being solid and battling for her equity, regardless of the multitude of difficulties they were going through. And she guaranteed them anything that happened, they were all actually pursuing Shanquella's equity. She said there's no great explanation for why a person of color ought to travel with her companions. They got back to her family in a container, and nothing be finished for a considerable length of time. The whole time she was talking, she blamed the FBI for being slow in meeting individuals who went on the outing with Shanquella, and furthermore for deferring the whole cycle that might have carried equity to the young lady months sooner. She guaranteed that however much everybody was mooched by the new development, nothing planned to prevent them from going on with their quest for equity. She said the whole family and different allies were all the while going to revitalize beginning May 19th until a fair outcome was given. She asserted the U.S. specialists need to comprehend and need to realize that the case was about Shanquella, as well as that U.S. residents can't go to Mexico, carry out a wrongdoing that everybody saw on a video, and afterward return to America and say they were protected, or that they won't be accused of a wrongdoing. Swan Robinson said that can't be the message that the U.S. specialists need to send the hands that they be allowed to say we're working since equity deferred can be equity denied. Lawyer Robinson asserted that the whole circumstance happened in light of the fact that the U.S. specialists postponed their examination, and assuming they had in no time circled back to the case the second it became known equity might have previously been served. She has said that it's very okay regardless of whether the government would elude the family to Mexico. They will proceed with their quest for equity. The Mexicans appear to have been dynamic and associated with the case more than the U.S., since Mexican examiners recorded a capture warrant that has not yet yielded a genuine capture. It's as yet indistinct right now how U.S. examiners' choice to not squeeze charges will influence the capture warrant from Mexican specialists. The FBI were really laid into the case on the grounds that, as per a statement to CBS News, they opened a test into the conditions encompassing Robinson's passing in November, around 3 weeks after it occurred. By then, the Lake Six had proactively escaped to the U.S. and were at that point concealing in their homes in the wake of deceiving Shanquella's family. Not normal for the FBI, the Mexican specialists had begun an examination before, and by then these of her killing had accumulated impressive public and worldwide consideration, attributable to the viral PDA video that showed Robinson being viciously attacked, obviously at the extravagance manner where she was remaining. While Holiday, the Mexican specialists, had even mentioned one of the Cabo Six to be removed to Mexico to confront her wrongdoings. However, no part of that has been respected by the U.S. government. It muddled influence the Division of Equity's declaration could have on removal matters, however, with them nonchalantly cleaning up No longer working on this issue, they may in all likelihood never remove anybody we trust that there is as yet an opportunity at equity in Mexico. Crump and Robinson said in a joint statement Mexican examiners have given capture warrants for this situation and are willing to seek after charges. We firmly urge the U.S. to push ahead with the removal of those liable for her obligation to Mexico to confront responsibility there on the off chance that no removal or political mediation happens. Activists, as well as Shanquella's family, have arranged a May the 19th of spring to the U.S. Division of State in Washington. Lawyer Robinson